So for today's demonstration, today's tutorial, I am going to be using this yarn I received in my February 2024 Hooks and Needles subscription box. I love the yarn. I wasn't impressed with the pattern. If you want to see more about the review of that particular subscription box, I'll have a link in the description below. This particular yarn, however, is 80% wool and 20% silk. I don't know if you can really see it there on the screen, but this yarn is this beautiful red with what comes off as a very kind of mild pinky tone, or undertone rather. So in the box, they gave me two 50-gram donuts, and these are the donuts or the yarn that I'm going to use for this project. So for my 50 grams, I'm going to get 153 yards, and since I've got two of these donuts, we're going to end up with 306 yards approximately. They say this is a light 3. Maybe. I look at it and see more 2, but maybe that's just, the difference of potato and potato, right? Okay, so they also let us know that this yarn needs to be hand washed and laid flat to dry. Do not bleach, do not tumble dry. If you like, you can use a light iron on this yarn, and you can also dry clean. Also for this project, I'm going to be using a 3.75 millimeter hook, or in US sizes, you're going to think of it in terms of a size F or also a size 5. I also need a pair of scissors and then a yarn needle. In addition to the materials I just showed you, I'm also going to show you a few more materials in order to make the tassels. Now, the tassels are optional, but there is enough yarn left over from this 100 grams to easily make them. So for the tassel, or rather the tassel cap, I'm going to use a size 4 or an E hook. In metrics, we're looking at a 3.5 millimeter hook. I'm also going to need some kind of tool or a piece of cardboard in which to wrap my yarn around to make my tassel with. And I'm going to be using 3 different sizes of beads. So the beads are very much optional. You can decide if you want to use them, if you don't want to use them, what type or what color beads you'd like to use. But for this particular demonstration, I'm going to be using a 5 millimeter bead, a 7 millimeter bead, and then also a 10 millimeter bead. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm going to start with the tassel cap. And for the tassel cap, you're going to obviously use the regular yarn you would otherwise be using for your scarf, and then your smaller sized hook, your E-size hook. Also, you're going to need 6 beads, and you're going to need to pre-string them, just like so. Next, I'm going to begin by making a magic circle. And then I'm going to go ahead and tie into that. Next, I'm going to single crochet 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now I'm going to go ahead and tighten my ring. So I just have a little hole left at the top. And this is what I'm going to pull the actual tassel part through. Now for this particular tassel cap, we will not be joining. In fact, we'll continue to work in a spiral. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to single crochet in each of these stitches for the next 5 rounds. Now remember to continue to just move your beads back until we're ready to use them, and we will use them in the 7th round. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to complete the next 5 rounds, and I will meet you right back here. Okay, so now that we've completed our first 6 rounds, at the beginning of the 7th round, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a single crochet. And then I'm going to pull forward a bead. And I'm going to slip stitch that bead, or chain that bead rather. And then in the next stitch, I am going to make a single crochet. Then I'm going to make a single crochet in the stitch after that. I'm going to move another bead into place. Then I'm going to make a chain. Next, I'm going to single crochet in the next stitch. I'm going to single crochet in the stitch after that. And then as before, I'm going to pull another bead into place. I'm going to chain. And then I'm going to single crochet in the next stitch. And then again, I'm going to single crochet in the stitch after that. So by the time we've made a complete round of the 12 stitches in round 7, I'm going to have placed all my beads. And now I have my last bead to place. I'm going to chain. And then in the next stitch, I'm going to single crochet. And then in the stitch after that, I'm going to make a single crochet and I'm going to fasten off. Now I'm going to leave that little bit of a tail, and then I'm going to weave that in, and that will give me my tassel topper. So now as you can see here on my tassel maker, I have wrapped my yarn around 30 times. And the width of my piece here is going to be 2 inches. So if you're just using a piece of cardboard, make sure it measures out to approximately 2 inches. And then go ahead and make your tassel as you normally would. So now that I have my basic body of my tassel, I'm going to take my cap. I'm going to just pull that right on through. And so you can kind of see how that goes. And then I'm going to string some more beads. So that'll be my first one. And then for me, I'm going to do 3 beads. Now, your mileage may vary depending on the beads or the look that you would like to have for your piece. So now that I have this tassel, and this tassel is completed, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make 5 more of these for my scarf. I'm going to leave this tail on. So there's about, I'm going to say a good 6 inches of tail, probably 12 inches total, that tied my actual tassel. And then I've got my tail here. And this is what I'm going to use to weave into the actual scarf itself when I get ready to place these. So now this particular stitch is a 4-row repeat. It's very simple. Once you get through the first few rows, you can just move with it. It looks way more complicated than it actually is. It's a nice, interesting fabric that it makes. And so we're going to just go ahead and get started. So for the scarf, you're going to need to chain 318 chains. Now the fabric I show you, or this demonstration, for the sake of this demonstration, I'm not going to chain 318. I'm simply going to chain 38. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 35, 36, 37, and 38. Next, I'm going to double crochet in the 6th chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to skip a chain, and I'm going to double crochet in the chain after that. I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to skip a chain, and I'm going to double crochet in the chain after that. Next, I'm going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. I'm going to skip 3 chains, and I'm going to single crochet in the chain after that. And then I'm going to chain 3 again, 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to skip 3, and then in the chain after that, I'm going to double crochet. Then I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to skip a chain, and I'm going to double crochet again. Chain 1, skip a chain. I'm going to double crochet again. And then one more time, I'm going to chain 1, skip a chain, and double crochet. Next, I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to skip 3 chains, and I'm going to single crochet. I'm going to chain 3 again, 1, 2, and 3. Then I'm going to skip 3, and I'm going to double crochet in the next chain. Next, I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to skip a chain, and then I'm going to make a double crochet. I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to skip the next chain. I'm going to make a double crochet. Then I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to skip a stitch. And then in my last chain, I'm going to make my final double crochet for row 1. So now you can see what your pattern should look like. So while making your scarf, just go ahead and continue this same pattern all the way across your 318 chains. And that will complete your first row. Next, I'm going to turn my work, and I'm going to go ahead and chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Then I'm going to want to place a double crochet right here into this first 1 chain space, and then a double crochet in the next double crochet, and then a double crochet into the next 1 chain space, and a double crochet into the next double crochet, and then one more time into the 1 chain space with a double crochet and a double crochet into the next double crochet. So you have this. Next, I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to single crochet into the next single crochet. And I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to double crochet into the next double crochet. I'm going to double crochet into the 1 chain space and double crochet into the next double crochet. and double crochet into the next one chain space, and double crochet into the next double crochet. And we're going to do that pattern one more time. Double crochet into the next one chain space, and double crochet into the double crochet, the next one. So now we have something that looks like this. And again, I'm going to chain 3. I'm going to single crochet in the next single crochet. And then I'm going to chain 3 again. And again, I'm going to start that pattern. I'm going to double crochet in the next double crochet, and then double crochet in the one chain space. And then again in the next double crochet, I'm going to double crochet. And then again, double crochet in the next one chain space. Double crochet in the next double crochet. And then again, and double crochet in the next one chain space. Or right there in that, we have that kind of 4 or 6, or yeah, it's about 4 chains right there. So you can go ahead and double crochet right there into that. And then in the third chain, I'm going to go ahead and place our last double crochet. So your piece should look like this. And your second row is completed. Now for the third row, I'm going to go ahead and turn my work. And I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip this next double crochet right here. And I'm going to double crochet in the stitch after that. I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to skip a stitch and double crochet in the stitch after that. I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to skip a stitch and double crochet in the stitch after that. So now you can start seeing that sort of lacy motif start to take shape. Next, I'm going to chain 3. And then I'm going to single crochet into the next single crochet. And then I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to double crochet into the next double crochet. Then I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to skip a stitch and double crochet in the next stitch. I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to skip a stitch and double crochet in the stitch after that. Then I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to double crochet again in the stitch after the one we just skipped. Next, I'm going to chain 3. I'm going to single crochet in the next single crochet. I'm going to chain 3 again. And I'm going to go ahead and double crochet in the next double crochet. And then as before, I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to skip a stitch, and I'm going to double crochet in the stitch after that. Again, I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to skip a stitch, and I'm going to double crochet in the stitch after that. And one more time, I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to skip the stitch. And right here in the third chain of that turning chain, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to place my double crochet. So now that's the completion of row 3. So we're going to move on again by turning our work. I'm going to begin row 4 by chaining 3. So 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to double crochet into this next one chain space. I'm going to double crochet into the next double crochet, and then double crochet into the next one chain space, and then double crochet into the double crochet after that, double crochet into the one chain space, and double crochet into the next double crochet after that. Now for this round, things are going to be just a little different. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to chain 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then I'm going to double crochet in the very next double crochet. So you can see that we just kind of skip all of this and just go straight across. So I'm going to continue to repeat the pattern. Again, double crochet in the one chain space and double crochet in the next double crochet. Double crochet in the one chain space and double crochet in the next double crochet. Double crochet in the one chain space and then double crochet in the next double crochet. And then what I'm going to do again is I'm going to chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then I'm going to double crochet in the next double crochet. And then again, just as before, place my double crochets in the one chain space and then in the double crochet until we've completed the row. Then we get to that very last double crochet that needs to be made. You're going to go ahead and make that right there into the third chain of that 4 chain turning chain. So now your work should look like this. And we're basically going to start from row 1 all over again. So basically, I'm going to go ahead and turn the work. Going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, skip the next stitch and double crochet in the stitch after that. And chain 1, skip the next stitch and double crochet in the chain after that. Chain 1, skip the next stitch and double crochet in the chain after that. And then just as we did with row 1, I'm going to go ahead and chain 3. Single crochet right around that chain 7, or as we did in row 1, you can simply skip 3 chains and then single crochet into that 4th chain. Either way is going to be fine. Chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then double crochet in the next double crochet. And just continue as you've done before. So when you begin row 5, you're basically going to start what you were doing on row 1. The only caveat is when you come and make your turning chain to begin your row 1 again, instead of what you did here off your base chain, you're just going to chain 4 and then continue on as usual. And you're going to keep doing that until you've completed rows 1 through 4 times. So as you can see here with this piece, I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So giving you a total of 16 rows. So now once you've completed all 16 of your rows, which includes your base chain of 318. Well, actually, it's your base chain plus 15 additional rows. And you're going to go ahead and then finish off the edges. So to do the edging, so let's just say I've completed all my rows, my base chain plus 15 rows, and I'm ready to finish off my piece. I'm basically then going to go ahead and I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to evenly single crochet right down the edge of my piece. And when I've completed my edge, then I'm just going to go ahead and fasten this off, weave in my end, and I'm going to then go ahead to the other side, and I'm going to also single crochet up along the edge. And when I've finished that edge, the with edge side, I'm going to then fasten that off and weave in that end, and then I'm going to go ahead and attach my tassels. Now once you're finished, you have a beautiful fashion scarf. Something that can be worn casually or for a night out or something professional. This really is a scarf that is quite versatile in terms of your wardrobe. Well, thank you so much for joining me today at Essential Crochet. Until we see each other again, stay safe and stay amazing. Bye-bye now.